Howdy folks, and welcome to part 3 of our 2020 BMW M2 rebuild project. In this episode we'll be installing all the new parts that we bought for the left wheel, that being the new tie rod assembly, the front and rear control arms. We'll also install the new brake dust shield cover that we got. We'll put back the brake disc as well as the caliper, and yeah, we'll see what we can do about the wheel so that we can lower this car and get it back down on the floor, get it back down to earth in a sense. Both control arms as well as the tie rod assembly are now fastened in on the chassis side, and all I need to do now is just fasten them onto the wheel hub and we should be done. Probably not a good idea to tighten the tie rod end so much, because it will still need to be adjusted when the wheel alignment is being done, so please just bear that in mind. I think with the suspension 95% done, it's time to move on to the next challenge. Now these hoses are for the radiators and they cost me 4 grand, 4,000 rands for these pipes, and all I really needed were just these two connectors, this one and that one. But since BMW doesn't sell those connectors, I had to buy the whole set, 4 grand. These two go onto this connector and that hose over there. for the external radiator. Now I've already got the external radiator and the brackets and everything that you see on this side here I already have for the left hand side. But before we get that installed, I just want to get these pipes in place, because as you can see, these hoses go on inside there, and if you can see, there they are. Where's my hand? Over there. So over there, and they go all the way to the other side, I think to the expansion bottle, as well as to another heat exchanger on that side. So now I just want to get them in place. I'm hoping to get away with not having to remove the radiator. I'm gonna try and see how I can wiggle them behind, because I do not want to touch something that's not broken. What we'll need to do to get that done is to remove this air intake. I've already loosened this clamp over here. I've already taken it out from this place where it connects in place, so you just push it down and then you just pull it off. I've also already taken off this hose. You just need to pinch it. You'll see there's these two sides marked. You just pinch it and then pull it out. I've already also loosened the wiring for the mass airflow sensor over there, and I've taken off these clips. There's 4 of them, these to release the top. As the 3rd one, and the 4th one should be over there, right there. And this will obviously release this hose. Then I'm gonna take it off. I'm hoping it's gonna give me some room to work behind and install the pipe, but let's see how that goes. Now what I've done is taken a piece of plastic so that we can cover this air intake, because as far as I know, there's no other filter now filtering the air before it gets into the engine. So I'm just going to take this cover, or this plastic, to just cover this hole to ensure no dust or debris goes in there. Looks like it's going to be a bit big, but I'm hoping it's not going to block my view as I try to work in here. I'm just going to shove it in there and leave it like that. Filming this install is going to be quite challenging because of where I'll be working, so what I'm going to do is just walk you through exactly what I'll be doing. Now let's take it from this new hose. That connector, that end over there with the heat shield, is this one here. It's this one here that goes into that heat exchanger. The second one, that one over there, goes in right. Let's see if we can switch on the light. Okay, the light is not available in this mode that I'm filming in, but it goes in right there at the bottom. So that's going to be the most challenging one to get to. And then we obviously have this end, which would be this one here at the top. That one, that last one over there, should also be fairly easy to get to. It's okay, yeah, real estate, it's that one there. It's that connector over there. So that's the plan. That's what I plan to do. And then for the small hose, this end over here is obviously this one over there, and then this one goes in at the back of one of these radiators, somewhere in there. So I don't think that's gonna be difficult, or not all that difficult anyway. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna get down to doing now. So I'm gonna start with a quick win. I've gone ahead and removed that part, that one at the bottom, that holds the crash bar in place. And if you look inside, that gives us very good access to this pipe here that we need to remove. I've already gone ahead and pulled the clamp. You'll see the clamp is now in the open position. So what I'm gonna do is just pull the pipe out, As you can see, it's that one there. It goes down and out here. Then I'm gonna replace it with that one. That was an easy and a quick win. So what I'm gonna do now is see if I can push this clamp in place. There you go. So now it's locked in place, and we're all done with installing that new hose. And over here we've got the old one.
3 hours later.
So after a lot of huffing and puffing, I managed to get the old hose out, as you can see it over there, and I was able to install the new hose. It's really difficult to say how this got done, but it was really a matter of, this is where I was able to get it out. So in between the fan and this bar over here, that's where I managed to get the old one out, and the new one the same opening, so inside here. And then you just try routing it to the different endpoints where it goes, and that's essentially how you get it out and back in. I've gone ahead and given the engine a bit of a wipe down. The aim wasn't really to win an engine cleanliness competition, but just to make it presentable, as now this is an engine you can take home to meet your parents. So what I'm going to do next is to reinstall the air hose in there like this, and of course don't forget this bar before you install the air hose. Alrighty, with the plumbing now in place, the last jigsaw puzzle to put together is this one. This obviously is your external radiator, and that's the bracket that holds it in place, and those are some of the fittings that go on together with it. So I'm going to go ahead and put it together like this, and this is the jigsaw puzzle together. And now all we need to do is get it installed onto the vehicle, so that we can put the auxiliary radiator on this side, hook it up onto the piping, fill up the radiator with the coolant, and we should be good. Finally, it's time for this guy to go in there. So now what we're going to do is fill this baby up with coolant. Now BMW told me that this baby takes 3 liters of coolant, and that's what I got. So I'm gonna fill it up, and while I do, I'm gonna ask you guys to just chill right here for me and let me know if you can see any leaks. You guys shouldn't forget to let me know if you see any leaking, hey? No leaks? Thanks guys, you guys are the best. So the coolant has been refilled, and what I've done, I've just topped it up with a bit of ordinary tap water as per BMW's advice. So the next thing now is to actually bleed out the cooling system, and for that we need to go inside the vehicle. That's not my oil spill, by the way, just as a disclaimer. You switch on your vehicle, and then what you do, you switch on the fan, put it on the lowest setting, and you crank up the heat or your temperature all the way high, and you press your accelerator pedal for you press your accelerator pedal for at least 10 seconds all the way down. So that's 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi.
A few moments later.
11 Mississippi, 12 Mississippi. So that should be enough time. I'm still pressing on it just for good measure, and then just gonna let it go. And let's go see up front if it is actually bleeding the system. And there you go. So you see now it started bleeding the system. The engine is not running, as you can hear, but what is doing, the water pump is actually circulating the water throughout the engine, and it's going to go through a few of these cycles, and you need to let it run for between 10 and 12 minutes. So I'll probably let it run for maybe 13 or 14 or so, and then the cooling system should then be bled out after that, and you should be good to go.
Three hours later.
Okay, I think that should be enough. I've let it run for a bit longer, obviously, since the car has been sitting for quite some time, but I believe that should have bled the system by now. So I'm just gonna start it again, let it run to temperature, and let's see how that goes. Okay, I'll check in with you after a few minutes. Alrighty, so the engine's been running now for a good 10 minutes plus, give or take, and I see no warnings about no overheating warnings. I also checked, and the fan is not running, which tells me the engine is not overheating. So I think we are good. I guess we can call that now a success. The level seems good of the coolant. I think good. And I think that leaves us to the end of today's video. Obviously, if you enjoyed this, found any value in it, please do give us a like and consider subscribing to the channel so that you do not miss out on future updates on this vehicle. And by all means, share it with others. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one. Cheerio.